The courthouse smelled faintly of polish and nerves. Cameras lined the marble steps outside, flashes snapping every few seconds. Inside, Meri Brown sat perfectly still, one hand resting on a worn leather folder that contained 20 years of betrayal folded into a single sheet of paper. Across the aisle, Kody avoided her eyes. Robyn dabbed her cheeks with a trembling handkerchief, whispering something to him that no one could hear. It's strange how silence in a courtroom can sound louder than shouting when the truth finally has a voice. This moment didn't come overnight. It started months earlier, on a quiet afternoon when Meri was cleaning out a storage box marked Mom's Estate. Dust floated through the light, slanting across the small Flagstaff rental. Inside the box lay old letters, faded receipts, and one envelope she didn't remember seeing before. Her heart skipped when she read the memo line on the enclosed check, Property Investment, Flagstaff Lot. The amount was $450,000, her inheritance. The date matched the year Kody convinced her to help the family secure land for everyone's future. She sat down hard on the floor. Every wall of the small room seemed to press closer. She opened her laptop and pulled the county property records. Within minutes, there it was. The Flagstaff mansion, purchased that same year, financed by funds from a private account labeled under Robyn Brown. Meri's pulse hammered in her ears. Sometimes betrayal doesn't announce itself. It hides in the fine print until you're ready to read it. She called Christine. Her voice shook. "Chris, I found something," she said. "I think it's bad." They met that night at a diner off Route 67. Christine arrived in a hoodie and ball cap, trying not to be noticed. Meri slid a stack of papers across the table. Emails, bank transfers, notarized letters. Christine's eyes widened as she reached the final page. A property deed listing Meri Brown as the original financier. Then a second copy, identical but missing her name. Christine leaned back, whispering, "They changed it." Meri nodded slowly. "They forged it, Chris. My signature's gone." The words hung between them, heavy and unreal. And in that instant, Christine realized this wasn't gossip or jealousy. It was a crime buried beneath family loyalty. By morning, Meri was sitting in an attorney's office. The lawyer's name was Sarah Collings, a woman known for patience that vanished the moment someone lied. "If this is real," Sarah said, turning the deed under the lamp, "you're sitting on proof of property fraud." Meri swallowed hard. "I just want my truth on record." The complaint was filed quietly under Brown vs. Brown. Within a week, whispers turned into headlines. Meri Brown sues Kody and Robyn over Flagstaff home. Kody's reaction came fast. Neighbors heard shouting. Inside the mansion, Robyn begged, "Kody, tell me you didn't use her money." He threw his arms wide. "It was all family funds. She offered it." But Robyn's tears said otherwise. Cameras later caught her outside the home, eyes red, saying, "I just want peace." When people start defending themselves before anyone accuses them, you already know the story's true. The first hearing drew a crowd. Meri arrived early, her face calm but pale. Christine sat behind her, supportive but nervous. Kody came next, chest puffed, jaw tight. Robyn followed, shoulders hunched, makeup light as if pretending nothing was wrong. Reporters whispered their names like a chant. Judge Whitmore entered, gray hair, sharp eyes, known in Flagstaff for slicing through lies like paper. "Mrs. Brown," he said to Meri's attorney, "state your claim." Sarah stood. "Your Honor, my client's inheritance funded the defendant's home. The deed filed with the county was altered. We have the original copy and a notarized affidavit confirming authenticity." She placed the yellow document on the bench. The courtroom leaned forward. Kody shifted, pretending indifference. The judge lifted the paper to the light, inspecting each line. The ink shimmered faintly. Then he compared it to the version filed by Kody's team. His brow furrowed. "These notary stamps do not match," he said quietly. Kody's lawyer fumbled with his glasses. "Your Honor, surely a clerical error," Whitmore interrupted. "A clerical error doesn't replicate a signature." He turned to Kody. "Did you or anyone under your direction modify this deed?" Kody clenched his fists. "No, sir. That's ridiculous." Whitmore's gaze didn't move. We'll see. Every liar thinks they can outstare the judge until the paper stares back harder. Meri sat motionless, eyes glistening but dry. Years of humiliation condensed into one steady breath. When recess was called, reporters swarmed outside. Christine placed a hand on Meri's shoulder. "You did it," she whispered. Meri shook her head. "Not yet. The notary, Emily Hayes. We need her testimony." That night, a woman watched the news alone in a cramped office. Emily Hayes, age 42, former notary. The broadcast showed her own seal flashed on screen beside the words, "Forgery Investigation." Her phone buzzed, unknown caller. A low voice warned, "Stay quiet, Emily. Don't ruin lives." She hung up, heart pounding. She opened her old logbook, comparing signatures. Her eyes blurred. The copy on Kody's deed wasn't hers. She whispered to herself, "They paid me once to restamp a paper. I didn't know what it was." Tears streamed down. She grabbed a pen and began writing. "I, Emily Hayes, declare that the deed under file number 4728 was falsified." She signed, sealed, and overnighted the affidavit to the courthouse. Truth doesn't knock politely. It kicks down the door the moment courage answers. The next morning, sunlight spilled over Flagstaff's snowy peaks. In the clerk's office, a courier delivered an envelope. The clerk slid it open, read the sworn statement twice, and whispered, "Oh my God!" She carried it straight to Judge Whitmore's chambers. At the same time, Meri's phone buzzed on her kitchen table. A message from Sarah Collings. "She's coming forward." Meri exhaled for the first time in weeks. Outside wind rattled the windows. She looked toward the horizon where the mansion sat gleaming in the distance. Her whisper barely rose above the hum of the heater. "Now you'll have to face what you did, Kody." And just like that, the tide turned. The witness they thought would stay silent had chosen truth over fear. Morning light streaks through the courthouse windows, catching in the dust of 100 whispered rumors. The bench creaks as reporters shuffle, sensing something big. Meri sits at the plaintiff's table, hands folded tight around a single pen. She doesn't speak. She just stares at the sealed envelope now sitting in front of the judge. Sarah Collings, her attorney, leans in. "It's from Emily Hayes," she murmurs. "She's ready." Across the aisle, Kody fidgets. He's dressed sharp, but his eyes dart toward the door every few seconds. Robyn's mascara looks like smoke beneath her eyes. She keeps whispering, "She won't come." She's scared. But sometimes the person everyone underestimates is the one who finally brings the house down. The bailiff opens the door. Every neck turns as a woman in a navy coat steps in, clutching a file like it's armor. Emily Hayes, the notary who stamped the forged deed. Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Even the judge sits back, surprised. She walks carefully to the witness stand, sets the file down, and adjusts the microphone. Her hands tremble. Judge Whitmore clears his throat. "Ms. Hayes, you've been subpoenaed in this matter. Do you understand that you are under oath?" She nods. "Yes, Your Honor." "Please proceed," the judge says. Emily opens the file and pulls out 2 copies of the same deed. One looks aged, smudged with ink. The other, crisp, newer, cleaner. "This is the original document I notarized for Mrs. Meri Brown in 2018, she says softly. "And this one," she lifts the second, "is the copy that appeared in county records." Kody exhales loudly through his nose, shaking his head. Robyn grips his sleeve. "I didn't make this second stamp," Emily continues. "That's not my handwriting. The date's wrong. The seal's been recreated using a scan of my commission file. I was paid to restamp something months later. And I didn't know what it was for. The truth lands heavier than any gavel strike, because once spoken aloud, it can't be unheard." Sarah Collings steps forward. "Who paid you, Ms. Hayes?" Emily swallows hard. "A man came to my office with cash. He said he worked for the Brown family. He gave me an envelope and asked me to verify my old seal. He looked nervous." Sarah presses. "Do you recall his name?" Emily hesitates, then nods. "He introduced himself as Kody Brown." A collective gasp. Kody slams his palm on the table. "That's a lie." "I never— Mr. Brown," the judge snaps. "Sit down or you'll be held in contempt." Meri doesn't move. She only blinks slowly once. Years of confusion and loneliness compress into that single blink. Emily's voice shakes. I didn't realize until I saw the deed on TV that it was her money. I'm so sorry. She looks at Meri directly. I thought it was just paperwork. Meri nods, her throat tight. You did the right thing now. Confession doesn't erase a sin, but it exposes the one still hiding in the shadows. The judge motions for the bailiff to collect both documents. He examines the seal under a magnifier. The room's silent except for the click of his pen. The alignment's off by 2 millimeters, he says quietly. Someone duplicated this. Kody's lawyer mutters something about mistakes, but no one's listening. Robyn suddenly bursts out, voice cracking. He did it for us. He said it was just to make things simpler for taxes. The courtroom erupts. Reporters scribble, cameras flash. Kody glares at her, hissing, "Stop talking." But Robyn stands. No, I'm tired of hiding. You told me it was all legal. You said she wouldn't care because she'd moved on. Her words tumble, each one worse than the last. There's a moment in every downfall where love turns to self-preservation, and everyone feels the switch. The judge bangs the gavel. Order, Mrs. Brown, please take your seat. Robyn collapses back, sobbing. The courtroom buzz dies into a suffocating quiet. Sarah Collings straightens. Your Honor, we request the deed entered into evidence as Exhibit B. We also ask that criminal forgery charges be referred to the district attorney. Kody's face drains of color. You can't do that. It's a family matter. Whitmore looks him dead in the eye. Mr. Brown, family or not, forgery is a felony. And just like that, the line between family drama and criminal case disappears. He orders a short recess. Reporters flood out to call their editors. Inside, Meri sits motionless while Robyn rocks silently, whispering prayers. Christine appears from the gallery, touches Meri's shoulder. You okay? Meri answers quietly, I'm not angry anymore. I just want it on record. The cameras catch Kody pacing in the hallway, whispering furiously into his phone. We can fix this. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. His voice cracks on the last word. Robyn joins him, pleading. They'll take the house, Kody, he snaps back. Then they'll take everything. Back inside, Judge Whitmore returns holding the affidavit. Ms. Hayes, he says, you've provided written and verbal testimony under oath confirming this deed was falsified. Yes, Your Honor. He nods slowly. Then we proceed to evidentiary ruling tomorrow. When the truth's clock starts ticking, no amount of power or pleading can stop its hands from moving forward. As the bailiff clears the courtroom, Meri watches Robyn crumble into Kody's chest. For the first time, he doesn't hug her back. He just stares at the ground, eyes blank. Outside, snow begins to fall, light, quiet, indifferent. Christine walks beside Meri down the courthouse steps. It's really happening, she says. Meri looks straight ahead. It's been happening for years. We just finally stopped pretending. Camera flashes burst again. The reporters shout questions. Meri says nothing. She only glances once toward the mansion on the hill, its windows glowing faintly in the dusk. Some houses are built with lies instead of bricks. And sooner or later, they collapse under their own weight. As they reach the car, Sarah Collings' phone buzzes. She reads the message, eyes widening. The judge just requested a private review of the Brown financials, she tells Meri. He suspects this wasn't the only forgery. Meri turns slowly toward the camera lights. Then we're just getting started. The screen fades to black as the wind howls over the courthouse dome, carrying the echo of Robyn's sobs and Kody's muffled curses. Tomorrow's hearing will decide everything. The house, the money, maybe even Kody's freedom. And that's where we leave it tonight. On the edge of truth, with everyone wondering who will break first when the next secret comes out. The next morning, the courthouse feels heavier than before. Snow still clings to the windows, melting slowly down the glass. Inside, murmurs fill the hallway. Reporters whispering, cameras ready, and everyone waiting for the next round of testimony. But today isn't about documents. It's about intent. It's about who knew what, and when. Meri walks in quietly, head high, dressed in a deep green coat. Christine follows a few steps behind her, carrying a thermos of coffee and that same worried look she's worn since this began. Across the corridor, Kody paces with his lawyer, gesturing wildly, while Robyn sits alone on a bench, her eyes swollen and distant. You can always tell who's guilty. They're the ones rehearsing their stories before the judge even walks in. Judge Whitmore enters the room, his presence cutting through the noise like thunder. "We'll resume testimony," he announces. "Mr. Brown, please take the stand." Kody freezes. His lawyer pats his shoulder. Slowly he rises and walks toward the witness chair. For the first time he looks smaller. Not the loud, confident patriarch everyone remembers, but a man cornered by his own choices. "Mr. Brown," Sarah Collings begins, "you've heard the testimony regarding the forged deed. Do you maintain you had no knowledge of the alteration?" Kody forces a smirk. "Of course. I don't handle paperwork. I have people for that." Sarah leans forward. "And yet the notary identified you as the person who brought her the document." He scoffs. "She's lying. Probably got paid to say that?" Meri looks up sharply from the plaintiff's table. Her voice, quiet but firm, cuts through the air. "Nobody paid her, Kody. Not everyone sells their soul." The courtroom murmurs. Even the judge hides a faint reaction behind his glasses. When calm voices start shaking, that's when you know the truth has teeth, Sarah continues, flipping through a stack of papers. "Mr. Brown, please confirm these are your financial records from 2018. He nods hesitantly. "According to these, there was a transfer of $450,000 from an account labeled MB, estate holding into an LLC named Flagstone Development Group. Are you aware that LLC was registered under Robyn Brown's name only?" Kody blinks, stunned. "That can't be right." "Your own signature appears on the transfer authorization." He stammers. That was for family funds." Sarah tilts her head. "Family funds that originated from Meri's inheritance?" Silence. Robyn buries her face in her hands. Meri doesn't flinch. Sometimes the loudest silence in the room is the one that finally breaks a reputation. Sarah slides another page onto the projector. It's a ledger. Black ink, neat columns, multiple entries labeled home furnishing, construction loan, landscaping. But all under the same funding source, MB Estate Holding. The judge squints at the numbers. "These totals align with the mortgage and renovation costs for the Flagstaff property," he says. Sarah nods. "Yes, Your Honor. And the transactions were approved under Kody Brown's signature." Kody swallows. "This is ridiculous. I didn't mean to hide anything." Meri whispers to Christine. "He just said it. Didn't mean to hide." Christine nods. "That's intent." Suddenly Robyn stands, her voice cracking. "It wasn't his idea. He said it was temporary, that we'd put Meri's name back once things settled." The judge sighs. "Mrs. Brown, please sit down." But she doesn't. "You think I wanted this house? I begged him not to take that money. He said it was just paperwork." Reporters scribble. Cameras click. Kody's face turns bright red. When the walls start to crumble, even love can sound like an accusation. The judge raises his voice. "Enough. Mrs. Brown, return to your seat." Robyn collapses, shaking, as Kody mutters something too low to hear. After a tense pause, Sarah speaks again. "Mr. Brown, earlier you claimed to have no role in this transfer. Would you like to amend that statement now that the paper trail has been presented?" Kody exhales heavily. "Fine. I authorized the transfer, but I didn't forge anything. Maybe Robyn mixed up paperwork. She handled most of it." Robyn's head snaps up. "Don't you dare put this on me." The courtroom erupts again. Blame always travels fastest between people who used to be partners. The judge slams his gavel 3 times. "Order! One more outburst and I'll clear the room." The silence that follows is electric. Sarah's voice lowers. "Mr. Brown, did you ever inform my client, Meri Brown, that her inheritance funds were being used to purchase property titled solely in Robyn Brown's name?" He hesitates. His mouth opens, then closes. "No," he finally admits. "She wouldn't have understood." Meri's voice rises, trembling but firm. "Try me." For a second, everything freezes. Even the cameras seem to stop. Kody looks at her, eyes hollow. "You never believed in the vision," he says bitterly. Meri answers, "I believed in us. You turned that into a business deal. And that's when the courtroom stops being about property. It becomes a reckoning for everything they've buried for decades. Judge Whitmore clears his throat. We've heard enough for today. Mr. Brown, your statements will be reviewed alongside financial records and testimony. Kody looks relieved until the judge adds, we will also request a forensic audit of all Brown family holdings. If further misuse is found, I'll refer this to the state's fraud division. Robyn sobs into her sleeve. Meri just stares straight ahead, eyes glistening. Christine squeezes her hand. You're winning, Meri, she whispers. No, Meri replies softly. I'm finally free. Outside, reporters swarm again. Questions fly. Meri, are you seeking jail time? Robyn, did you know about the money? Kody, are you facing charges? Nobody answers. Kody pushes through the crowd, his jaw tight. Robyn follows, crying, we can fix this, Kody! He doesn't look back. When someone walks away without turning around, it's because they already know there's nothing left to defend. That night, Meri returns home. The silence in her living room feels different. Not lonely anymore. Just hers. She pours tea, sits by the window, and looks out toward the faint lights of Robyn's mansion in the distance. The same house her inheritance built. Her phone buzzes. A message from her lawyer. Judge wants a private review tomorrow morning. He says new bank records just arrived. Meri stares at the screen, heartbeat quickening. The truth isn't finished yet, because every secret they tried to bury under that mansion's foundation is about to be dug up. One document at a time. The next day dawns gray and heavy over Flagstaff. The storm that began inside the courthouse yesterday has followed the Browns into the morning air. Reporters are already gathered before sunrise, breath turning to fog as they wait for what everyone knows will be the most critical hearing yet, the judge's private review. Inside, the courtroom lights flicker on one by one. Meri arrives early, calm but pale, clutching a small notebook. Christine walks with her, but doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. The air between them hums with quiet strength. Across the aisle, Kody sits beside his lawyer, his tie loose, his eyes bloodshot. Robyn hasn't shown up yet. Before truth destroys a lie, it usually gives its creators one last chance to tell it themselves. When the clock hits 9, the bailiff announces the session. Judge Whitmore enters, carrying a slim folder sealed in red tape. We've reviewed newly submitted bank records, he says evenly. The findings are concerning. The rustle of reporters' notebooks fills the room. He turns to Kody. Mr. Brown, these records show a secondary account linked to your signature, titled Suncrest Holdings, LLC. Are you familiar with it? Kody frowns. No, sir. Whitmore flips a page. Then how do you explain the deposits totaling $1.2 million over 2 years from the same account that funded the Flagstaff property? Gasps ripple across the benches. Meri's jaw tightens. Christine covers her mouth. Kody's lawyer stammers something about clerical confusion, but the judge cuts him off. Each deposit matches a withdrawal from the family trust, followed by purchases tied to your residence. It's always the math that buries them. Numbers don't tremble when they're accused. The courtroom door opens softly. Robyn enters at last, sunglasses hiding swollen eyes. She walks straight to the witness bench and whispers, Your Honor, I need to speak. The judge nods. You'll have your chance, Mrs. Brown. Take the stand. She removes her glasses, revealing eyes rimmed red. I didn't know about Suncrest. I swear I didn't, but I recognized the name last night. It's the same company on our water bills. He told me it was a property management account. Kody shakes his head. Robyn, stop. She looks at him, trembling. You told me Meri's money was part of our joint investment. You said she agreed. I believed you. The tension slices through the air like glass breaking. Kody stands abruptly. I did this for our family. For stability. Meri's voice rises, low and controlled. You stole from me, Kody. You stole everything I had left of my mother. Anger is loud, but grief whispered out loud in a courtroom hits harder. Whitmore pounds his gavel once. Enough shouting. Mrs. Brown, please continue. Robyn wipes her eyes. I begged him to tell her. He said it would ruin everything. The show, the reputation, the fans. I didn't want this. I didn't know he forged that paper. Kody slams his palm down. You signed it too. Her voice cracks. Because you told me to. The courtroom erupts again. Reporters lean forward. Even the bailiff looks shaken. The judge raises his hand until silence swallows the chaos. I have no interest in your marital disputes, he says coldly. But these documents establish clear misuse of funds and willful deception. Sarah Collings rises. Your Honor, at this point we request immediate injunction over the Flagstaff property pending restitution. Whitmore nods slowly. Granted, Kody's face drains of color. You can't do that. That's our home. The judge replies evenly, it was never yours to begin with. And just like that, the paper fortress he built over years collapses in one sentence. Robyn breaks into sobs, the sound echoing off marble walls. Where will our kids go? She cries. You promised we'd be safe. Kody doesn't answer. He stares ahead, lips moving silently. Maybe a prayer, maybe regret. Meri's eyes fill, but she doesn't look at them. She stares at the bench where her mother's inheritance had been turned into luxury. Christine leans close, whispering, You can breathe now. Meri exhales shakily. Not yet. He still has more to lose. Whitmore continues, Based on these findings, I will forward the matter to the district attorney's office for criminal review. Forgery, fraud, and conversion of funds are on the table. Kody whispers hoarsely. You're ruining my life, Meri replies without turning. You did that yourself. When justice finally stands up, it doesn't shout. It simply refuses to sit back down. Outside, the winter wind howls through the parking lot as court adjourns. Cameras swarm the exit doors. Reporters yell questions. Microphones thrust forward. Meri, how do you feel about the injunction? She gives no statement. Her silence says everything. Kody emerges moments later, jaw locked, ignoring every flash. Robyn follows behind him, face hidden, clutching a coat around her shoulders. Someone yells, Robyn, did you forge the deed? She stops for a second, then keeps walking. Back inside, the judge gathers his papers and pauses. He looks out over the empty benches. It's always family that cuts the deepest, he murmurs, almost to himself. Meri lingers in the hallway with Christine and Sarah. The tension has drained from her body, replaced by something steadier. Resolve. We're not done, she says quietly. He's still hiding something. That $1.2 million didn't vanish by accident. Sarah nods. Then we'll find where it went. Christine squeezes her arm. You're stronger than you've ever been. Meri half smiles. No, I'm finally honest. Truth doesn't heal you instantly. It just stops the bleeding long enough for the scars to mean something. That night, footage floods every network. Headlines scream, Court freezes Brown family mansion in fraud probe. Social media explodes with sympathy, outrage, disbelief. In the footage, Robyn's sobs echo through the hallway. Kody's glare burns into the lens before he pushes the camera aside. Back at her home, Meri sits by the window again. Same seat, same mug, different woman. The city lights flicker across her face. She looks down at her phone. An unknown number sends a single message. You don't know everything yet. No name, no signature. She stares at the screen, heart racing. Then another text follows. Ask about the Nevada property. Just when the dust starts to settle, a new storm always whispers from the distance. Meri sets the phone down slowly, eyes narrowing. She looks back toward the distant glow of the mansion. Snow drifts lazily over Flagstaff the morning everything changes again. The city seems calm, but inside the courthouse, tension hums like a live wire. Everyone thought the mansion case was nearly over, until that single text on Meri's phone rewrote the script. Sarah Collings meets her in the parking lot, coat collar turned up against the wind. You sure about this? She asks. Meri nods. Whoever sent that message knew something only Kody could hide. Nevada property. That's where the rest of my money went. Every mystery has a sequel hiding behind silence, and this one is about to start talking. Inside, the courtroom buzzes. Christine sits in the back row, phone out, recording notes. Robyn arrives first, face pale, clutching tissues. Kody enters a few minutes later, anger radiating from every step. He glares at Meri but doesn't speak. Judge Whitmore adjusts his glasses. We reconvene to review additional evidence submitted overnight. Mrs. Brown, your counsel may proceed. Sarah stands. Your Honor, my client received an anonymous tip about a Nevada property purchased through a company called Red Desert Investments, LLC. We have traced the ownership to Mr. Kody Brown. The room goes still. The judge frowns. Proceed. Sarah slides photos onto the projector. A sprawling desert estate outside Las Vegas, gated and pristine. This property was acquired 6 months after the forged deed. Records show the down payment came from Suncrest Holdings, the same account used to move Mrs. Brown's funds. Robyn's mouth falls open. What? We've never been to Nevada. Meri doesn't look at her. You didn't have to. The paperwork did. Sometimes betrayal doesn't need a witness, only a receipt. Kody slams his hand on the table. That's a business investment. For retirement. Sarah arches a brow. Then why list Robyn's sister as the caretaker? Kody's lawyer interjects, irrelevant. The judge cuts him off. It's extremely relevant if it shows concealment. Whitmore flips through the new file. Mr. Brown, this Nevada purchase, combined with the Arizona deed, demonstrates an ongoing pattern of asset diversion. Explain why every trail leads to your signature. Kody's voice shakes. Because I'm the head of the family. Everything went through me. Meri whispers, exactly. Power was never the problem. It was how easily he confused it with ownership. Robyn suddenly stands, tears streaking. I didn't know about Nevada. I swear, Kody, what did you do? He snaps, sit down. No, she yells back, startling even the bailiff. You said you were protecting us. Were you building another house? His silence answers for him. The audience gasps. Christine mutters under her breath. Unbelievable. Judge Whitmore exhales, tired but firm. This court finds sufficient grounds to extend the injunction to all properties under Mr. Brown's control, including the Nevada estate. Kody stiffens. You can't take everything. The judge looks directly at him. You already did. Mr. Brown, you just called it family business. And that's the sound of control slipping quietly through the fingers of the man who built his empire on other people's trust. The gavel strikes once, echoing off marble walls. Robyn collapses into her chair, sobbing. Meri remains still, expression unreadable. Sarah leans in. That was the last nail. Meri whispers, not yet. He still hasn't said why. When court adjourns, Kody storms out the side door into the cold. Cameras chase him down the steps, shouting, Kody, is the Nevada property real? Did you hide assets? He shoves past them, shouting, it's none of your business. Inside, Robyn lingers. She approaches Meri, eyes swollen. I didn't know, Meri. I thought he fixed everything years ago. Meri answers softly. You believed what was easiest. That's how he wins. Robyn's lips tremble. I've lost everything. Meri shakes her head. No, Robyn. Now you finally know what losing feels like.